How's it going? Welcome to Chats with Spencer. For interviews full of fun and unique questions just like this one, subscribe. New videos every Tuesday and Friday. My guest this week is a regular on Eric Carlson's bouldering channel. He is a knee bar addict and a master of brushing holds. He is Tor Johnsson. I had such a blast talking with Tor. He has such a great energy and he shared some really fun stories. And I know that if you're not already a fan of Thor, you will be by the end of this video. So sit back and enjoy my interview with Thor. All right, Thor, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to be talking to you. How are you doing today?
I'm happy to be here. Happy to, if you want to have a chat with me. I'm doing fine today. I'm a bit low on sleep, but otherwise I'm fine.
Yeah, I think that's that's pretty common for a new parent, right?
Yeah. I just had a kid like 9 weeks ago now, so I'm
hmm
starting to get used to it. But some nights are more difficult than others.
hmm hmm So I was just wondering, could you tell us maybe a bit about just growing up, where you grew up, just the kind of kid you were, and maybe some of the things you were interested in.
I grew up in a small town, or it's not super small, but a town, 200,000 citizens north of Stockholm in Sweden. It's called Uppsala. Super flat place. Not much climbing around, and not much like nature activities at all. But I grew up with my parents, and they were both really interested in being in the outdoors and stuff. I like just travel and do kayaking and all kind of stuff. So I used to do that as a child with them. And when it comes to sort of like what, yeah, there were so many questions in the same time. Maybe you can,
Oh, sure.
well,
Just like what kind of kid you were, like the things you were interested in.
yeah. So this nature thing was definitely a big thing. But I'm also grew up in the same house as my grandparents, and they are both artists. They are
Oh, okay.
painters and sculptors. So they had this big, like, you can always go to this. They had this room with was just for making art.
hmm
So I spent a lot of time doing that as well, painting and doing all kind of creative activities with them. And I think it was a really nice mix to have as a child. Um, yeah, and also, of course, of most kids, I like to hang out with my friends and just do like all kind of stupid stuff, and But yeah, it was a really nice childhood, I have to say. So
Thor, maybe you can share with us some of your passions outside of climbing. So, what do you maybe like to do on your non-climbing days, and just other interests?
this nature thing is a big thing for me, even mostly for going out climbing, but
hmm
other activities as well. Back in the a few years ago, I did a lot of kayaking, sea
Okay.
kayaking. So I went actually kayaking by myself a lot, like multi-day trips by
hmm
myself in the kayak, and still like to do that, but it's hard to find time for being like really committed climber and also do a lot of sea kayaking. So, but I do it every now and then still. I also recently bought a California van, which I think will help me to, yeah, be out in the nature
hmm
more. Uh, I used to do a lot of like just hiking and with a tent with my wife, but
hmm
now since I just became a dad, I figure it's gonna be a hard. I think it's kind of hard to live in a tent, and especially carrying both the tent and the child everywhere. So
yeah.
that's also a reason for buying the van. Um, Other than that, because I'm a photographer, I enjoy going to exhibitions to see photography and other kind of art as well. Um, yeah, and just this random things that like having dinner with friends and all of that is also important, but it's not that fun to talk about maybe, but it's still important.
Thor, this is a question I've just developed after I've been talking to more and more climbers. But what are your feelings on playing like team sports? Were you into them as a kid, or were you never really into them?
Yeah, this is actually interesting question because I've never been into team sports. And still I don't like it at all. I don't enjoy it. I don't know. It's actually I definitely don't like this solo mission stuff, but I like to climb with friends and being like a
hmm
bunch of friends climbing together. But I don't want to. be able to blame someone else for my
Okay.
mistakes. And also most sports are like they're really competitive, and
Hmm.
which and in a way that makes so you have to have a loser and a winner. To be
Okay.
able to be the winner, you have to make someone else lose,
Hmm.
and I don't really enjoy that feeling either. So in climbing, especially outdoor climbing, no one loses. You know, you can always if you do the route and your friend doesn't, that's yeah, he hasn't lost it because it was his
Hmm.
own fault or what you say, and also vice versa. That if your friend do the route and you don't do it, it's still fun. It's still better that your friend did it than no one.
Hmm.
So and also I think the whole culture with outdoor climbing it suits me pretty well because of this. Because there's like the competitiveness is it's not so much. Yeah, you're like just hanging out and having a good time. You don't have to be like all stressed up because you might lose to these people.
Hmm. Hmm. I think one of the most interesting things about climbing as a sport is just you against yourself, really. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? It's your own limitations and your own strengths and weaknesses. So that's really great about that. Thor, maybe you can tell us a bit about how you got into photography. Did you kind of was it an interest from an early age, or did it just kind of like fall into your lap, kind of thing?
It's actually kind of strange because it was so. I like really figured it out that I'm going to become a photographer. And I was really young. I was like, I was thinking about what I should go, which high school I should go to.
Okay.
And I was thinking maybe do I want to become an artist as
Mm-hmm.
like my grandparents or what should I be? And I thought like this seems like such a struggle to be just like living from art. And then I thought
Mm-hmm.
like photography, that's like you can still get paid and it's still like
Yeah.
some kind of art. Uh, and also I like to be outside and like just meeting people and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And if you do paintings, you're gonna spend most of the time just by yourself with the painting. So I was like decided when I was like 15, and like I'm gonna become a photographer. But I hadn't done any photography before
Mm-hmm.
that. I had like
Okay.
didn't know how a camera worked or anything. But I just
Mm-hmm.
decided that's gonna be my thing. And then it just put a lot of effort into making it happen. And I was lucky also. So look at me 20 years later.
Yeah, it worked out for sure. All right, Thor. Just kind of switch pace a little bit, but if you could recommend a band or an artist you think people should give a listen to, what band or artist would that be? And it doesn't have to be super obscure. Maybe just someone you enjoy.
But I like I'm like a metalhead as I told
Hmm.
you, and I'm mostly into like this heavy metal, thrash metal stuff. Not that much black metal. It's like a bit too dark maybe.
Okay.
But I like the heavy stuff, so like a lot of energy and like maybe some aggression to it. So I listen to a lot of Swedish bands like Entombed, The Haunted, and also some old stuff like Pantera, the early albums from them, and also early Metallica and Slayer. But if I should name some band, I would say you should listen to some Entombed. That's what I'm most into right now.
Okay. Thor, do you remember the first album you ever bought or asked for or downloaded?
Yeah, this actually this is really strange thing because the first album I because I had friends that had started so much music and like they had older brothers and
Hmm.
stuff that if we just
Hmm.
listened to that music. But so I didn't bought my first album myself because before I got pretty old. So I think I was like 12 or 13 or something.
Hmm.
So when I asked my parents to buy me a Cannibal Corpse album for Christmas,
Okay.
and this is really disturbing. The like the front of the album is just some skeleton having sex with another skeleton or something. It's just like totally messed up. But it's just for fun. They're making
Hmm.
fun of the whole genre. But I know, like my dad told me that they had a discussion in the music store, like, can we really buy this? And like, what does do? Can we do this? But ended up buying the album because the freedom of art
Hmm.
it was the most important part for them. So ended up getting the album, and it's really good album. It's more like fun than it's
Hmm.
actually really good, but it's nice.
All right, Thor, if you could teach anybody in the world to climb or just like introduce them to the sport, who would that be?
I would like more of my non-climbing friends to be climbers. Of course, I could spend more time with
Hmm.
them, but there's any guy or girl that just wants to be part of like
Hmm.
some like because it's so friendly, you're so welcome in the climbing world. So if you want to commit and really go into something, climbing is the perfect thing, because once you show that you really want to do it, that you're committed, you're gonna be welcomed with open arms, I think. Most,
Hmm.
and also like this, if you travel, you always have like some kind of community to ride to. It's also really nice. So hard to recommend like a certain person to climb, but
Okay.
I would recommend anyone to climb that have liked to just push themselves a little bit, and of course you need to like to do this kind of physical activity as well.
I guess the follow up is, how did you discover climbing, Thor?
Yeah, I grew up in a super flat part of the world, so it's kind of
Hmm.
strange in a way. But I got introduced by a few friends when I was
Okay.
my mid teenage years,
Hmm.
and but I didn't went full climbing geek from the beginning, and we were just climbing
Hmm.
like once or twice a week. But when I was like, I think I was 19 or 20, we went to Thailand for 3.5 months to climb on Tonsai Beach,
Okay.
and that then I got super hooked, and I couldn't imagine life without
Hmm.
climbing after that.
Hmm. So, Thor, I guess this can might be you might have already answered this, but where's your most favorite place that you visited so far?
I would say climbing wise, uh, I like to go to Spain. Like there's so much
Okay.
limestone, high quality limestone climbs
Hmm.
everywhere. And it's like the climbing culture in Spain is also really inspiring. The people, they try hard, and there's like
Hmm.
this big climbing community. So
Hmm.
it's really nice. But when it comes to more like go to like these scenic places that like that because there's some kind of difference between where's the best wall to climb.
Hmm.
Might necessarily not be in the same best part of the world, you know.
True.
So I think I enjoy the most to go to Patagonia in Argentina,
Mm.
because the nature and the whole scenery and everything is breathtaking and totally different from Europe, where I spend most of my time. And really close to me also is Lofoten in Norway, the north part of Norway, and that's also so nice. And there's so much room, like there's so much space. You can be by yourself in the middle of the
Hmm.
summer, and just enjoying the landscape and everything. And the climbing is also fantastic.
If you could travel back to any time period just to visit, what time period would that be?
I would definitely try to go way far back in the
Hmm.
history, like to the Stone Age or something. Just
Okay.
to see, it would be super interesting to see if the people back then were like us, like if they behaved the same way and felt the
Okay.
same
Hmm.
way about stuff before the whole like society thing
Hmm.
started, like how much that had affected us. That would be interesting, and also extremely interesting to see how this Neanderthal people, how the relationship between the Neanderthal people and just the Homo sapiens were. If we were like friendly, or how this
Hmm.
whole thing worked. Because you can take this or like how deep as you want, like, but it's still like we're having a hard time right now getting along, like between different groups of people in
Hmm.
the world. But just imagine having actually different species to try to work with is
Yeah.
that's really hard to think about.
A really interesting answer. A lot of people Flew up asses too. It's funny they only go back like maybe 10 years or 20 years, but I like that you went back. I like prehistoric too. I would definitely go prehistoric. I think that would be the most interesting.
Yeah, that's the most different also. So
Mhm.
if I was able to travel backwards, because otherwise it would be really annoying to get stuck in the Stone Age.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live there.
I don't think I would like that.
All right, Thor, we're gonna switch pace a bit and just do some more less in-depth questions. But if you want to elaborate on any of these, feel free to. What's your favorite sports team?
I don't have one actually.
Okay.
I don't watch sports like that.
Mhm.
Just climbing.
Who's your favorite climber? But I think you already answered that.
Adam Ondra is definitely my
Yeah.
favorite climber.
Uh, are you more of a cat or dog person?
A cat person. I like the cats. They take care of themselves, and
Mhm.
they show up every now and then because they really want to hang out with you. It's not like
Mhm.
the dogs that they really need you all the time. To yeah, it's like I think maybe if I was like old and didn't have grandchildren or something,
Mhm.
I think it would be nice to have a dog because you have someone that really hang out with all the time. But
Yes,
at my life situation right now, I prefer cat.
that's fair. Spring or autumn?
Uh, hmm. Because the winter in Sweden is so long and depressive,
Mhm.
you always yeah, it's really nice when the spring arrives. It's
Mhm.
you get happy and yeah, the climbing in Sweden is also good in the spring. So I would say
Okay.
spring.
M&Ms or Skittles?
What is Skittles? I don't even know
Uh,
what
s-
it is.
okay. Skittles is like a candy, but it's kind of like chewy, and it looks kind of they're like smaller than M&Ms, but they're colorful as well. They're usually like in a red
Oh, okay, no, I
package.
think I know. I know. Uh,
They're-
I would say M&M. It's more classic.
One of your favorite movies.
I would say Big Lebowski. Uh, just extremely fun.
If your next meal could be anything in the world, what would it be?
Hmm. I just bought some codfish uh,
Hmm.
today that I'm gonna make dinner with, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm a big fish guy. I like to eat all kind of seafood really.
Okay.
So, but there's like maybe if there's something that I would this like fish that you have in Japan or something that's poisonous, but if you cook it right, it's really delicious. I don't know, it's like dragonfish maybe something like that. I don't know the English name, but it's
I think
dragon.
it's like the puffer fish one, where it's like if you cut in the wrong spot, you're like you could like poison the
Yeah,
whole fish kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. That one would be nice to try, like
Okay.
with someone that I trust and prepare the food.
Yes, that's that's fair.
Yeah,
Would you rather go on an adventurous vacation or a relaxing one?
definitely adventurous. I don't think I've like the last 10 years I've never went on a vacation to relax.
Hmm. Your go-to snack at a corner store.
Yeah, that's hard. If I'm going to the climbing crag or something, I
Hmm.
usually try to buy some like this cottage cheese maybe and some bread.
Okay.
And of course, a big thing in my life right now is Coca-Cola Zero.
Hmm.
For some reason, I got totally addicted. Uh, so I don't know what they put in that stuff, but it's I can't stop drinking it.
That's fair. Sorry. Favorite childhood TV show.
Hmm. Yeah, we watched a lot of Simpsons when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's fun. Still think it's fun.
The most fun climb you've been on.
Wow. Usually like the harder the climb, the better the quality of the climb. I would say the
Hmm.
moves get more and more interesting. Um, so I would say that the most fun climb I did is, I think it's actually the hardest climb I've
Okay.
done so far, because the whole process is also interesting. I put uh, like 10, 15 days into the project, and at the first,
Mhm.
from the start, I couldn't do most of the moves in the lower part, which is the hard part.
Okay.
And then like just seeing the figuring it all out and doing moves that I never done before, and it was really nice. And this climb is a granite climb. It's really steep, and it has a section with really hard boulder at the beginning, and then it's a complex knee bar section into another
Oh,
really
okay.
crimpy crux. So you have to like really do do everything perfect to keep the strength for the upper crux.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was really nice to send this.
So
So that's my
mhm.
best place, and it's on route. It's an 8B route
Okay.
located in the granite cave in the west coast of Sweden.
Okay.
It's called Shapeshifter. If someone wants to check it out.
So I think fans of you are probably going to know the answer of this already, but what's your favorite move to do in climbing?
The knee bar,
What? Yeah.
of course, but it's not any knee bar. It needs to be a knee bar. You put out that you need to put the knee pad on for it to be
Oh, okay.
interesting, and then also it's gonna be so complex that you can't do it without the knee pad.
Hmm.
That, that
Okay.
that's the what I like. If it's just like a hole that you have to push your leg in and rest, that's not that fun. But if it's like really hard to figure it out, and so you can do it, but most people wouldn't be able to. That's the kind of knee bar move that I enjoy the most.
What's your favorite training exercise?
I think I do mostly indoor bouldering for training,
Hmm.
but if I
Okay.
won't have to say something in the gym, I would just say the weighted pull up. I don't think it to a certain level it's good for your climbing, but after a while it just becomes like kind of a gimmick or something. But I
Okay.
like to just put on a lot of weight and do pull up and chin up.
All right. What's your least favorite training exercise? So the one you should do, but you hate doing it.
Yeah, it's my flexibility in my upper body is really bad.
Okay.
Um, and because it's like depressing to try to get more flexible in the shoulders and stuff, right? Because I
Hmm.
messed them up for 20 years now. It's just not gonna happen. But some shoulder mobility would be good for me.
Okay. Do you remember your first pair of climbing shoes, and if so, what were they?
I don't know the specific name, but it was a pair of Scarpa shoes.
Hmm.
Uh, and I still actually they don't make them anymore, but it would be super nice to try them again because they were like extremely stiff. And I actually had a plastic platform in the front part with underneath the rubber as toe
Hmm.
part, so you could push down so hard on the small edges,
Hmm.
but it was like totally impossible to smear, and you couldn't like they was like for specifically just to stand on small edges. They were
Hmm.
really good, but they sucked in any other way. But yeah, it would be so fun to see what I could do with them right now, because they don't make any shoes like that anymore. I think
Okay. What climbing shoe are you using right now?
I always use the La Sportiva solution. Uh, people some people make fun of me because I just use this shoe, because you should definitely have different shoes for different times. But I'm so used to wearing these shoes now,
Mhm.
so it feels like it should take me weeks to just learn the new shoes. So I stick to them.
This question is, if you had a song to describe your climbing style, what song would that be?
Let's say Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera.
All right. I like it.
No, I'm just kidding, but I can't come up with any other a good
That's okay.
answer for that.
Like you mentioned, you have a 2-month-old baby at home, and you're a new father. So, what's one thing that kind of surprised you about fatherhood that people like maybe didn't tell you, or like you just kind of have to experience to understand?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is that before I got the child, I was worried about spending so much time at home because it's way harder to just travel and yeah, because if I can leave my wife, she's gonna
Hmm.
yeah make everything work for herself for a week. It's not a
Hmm.
problem, but it's not the same thing with a child. So maybe this gonna be hard for me to not be able to leave. But the thing is, once you get the child, you don't want to leave. You
Yeah,
just want
true.
to be home with the kids. So every time I have to leave home now, when I went to the gym right now, I like it's like I just want to sit and cuddle with my little daughter. It's like
Hmm.
you have really hard time leaving home actually. So and that's a really nice feeling that you really want
Yes.
to do this thing. So and I think it happens for most people. I think and it's hard to understand before you get your own child because you know I always thought babies were like cute and nice, but
Hmm.
it's a totally different thing when it's your own child. So
I like how you said that. I personally don't have kids, but I know that moment, as soon as you have a kid, it's just going to change your life and your perspective on life and on babies. And it's a totally new experience.
yeah, definitely. But I can also
Though,
say that I can if I should add something about that, it's also like
sure.
seems like when you look at other people getting children, you think like, oh, that's how you need to do it, and
Hmm.
that's not gonna work for me, and you get like a bit panic a little bit maybe. But the thing is, you can do this so many different ways. We like we just bought this California van as I told you before, and
Hmm.
we plan to live in out of that for the whole summer and just travel.
Nice. Hmm.
So, but for most people that would be they don't want to do that kind of stuff, but we want to do it, and I'm sure it's gonna work out. So life doesn't end. You can still like do things your way, but it's
Hmm.
still different
Hmm.
than
All
before. But
right. Thor, what are 5 words do you think your wife would use to describe you?
stubborn maybe, uh, and yeah, emotional. I guess it's both a good and a bad thing. Uh, Maybe 5 words. That's many words. I have to uh, like if we say something bad is maybe that I it's not really a word, but I want to have stuff my way. It's hard for me
Okay.
sometimes to like accept that we have to do stuff her way.
Hmm.
Uh, but also that I'm pretty organized
Okay.
and and social maybe because I
Okay.
think it's important to. I want to meet a lot of friends. If I don't meet people, I'm just depressed.
Okay, Thor, I'm going to ask you a question just kind of jokingly, but obviously anybody who's watched you on Eric's channel knows that you like brushing holds. So my
Yeah.
question is, one, can you brush your hold too much? And two, what is your favorite brush?
My favorite brush first is the brush that actually my friend makes. So they like my friend's company, Nature Climbing, it's a Danish brand, and this
Okay.
actually brush is made by a blind person uh,
Mm-hmm.
in Denmark, and they're really good brushes. Uh, and of course, there's actually some boulders. I haven't done this myself, but there's some boulders that actually became easier because people brushed the holes so intense, so the holes got bigger.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
Especially on sandstone, like this kind of rock that is actually kind of soft. So you can, if you brush it forever,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna
Mm.
get more and more positive. So the holes is gonna get better, and also you can definitely destroy the friction
Oh, yes.
on limestone and plastic if you like brush it all the too much. But I mean, if you just want to do a good sunburn, you should just brush the shit out of those holes. If you don't care about the future.
All right. Okay, so with climbing coming up in the Olympics in Tokyo 2021, popularity is probably going to get even greater. So where do you hope the sport goes in the next, say, 5 years, Thor?
Yeah, I think the sport will go like two different ways. That's what
Okay.
I think, that it's the outdoor climbing is going to remain pretty much what it is now. Maybe more people will try it and become interested in it, but indoor climbing is going to go like a total different way, I think. Especially now with the combined format, you need to be good at three different disciplines at the same time, and especially with the speed climbing, that's so different from the other two
Yes.
disciplines. So I think it's going to be more like athletes or than lifestyle guys being the best when it comes to the indoor climbing. And it's also, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you see, like, you watch the skiing, for example, like downhill skiing, the thing that people do when they go just on the, what do you say, off the main slope, whatever. If you hear, I'm not like a big skier.
Okay, that's okay.
but the prepared slopes and everything is totally different than just being out on a real mountain.
Yes.
And I think that's gonna happen with the climbing as well.
And is there one thing you'd like to achieve in your lifetime?
Yeah, but I think it's important to just have fun, you know. And it's just having a nice life, because it's also like this question, what you want to be remembered for when you die. And it was like kind of weird things to think like that, because that means you don't gonna enjoy just do it for someone else. And you, like, no one, I don't think people will care that much what you did anyway when you die. So but I also, having said that, I think it's really important to just be a nice person, and like don't hurt anyone else, and don't like just take people for granted and stuff like that. So yeah, and of course I want to be a good dad. Of course I want to be that, but otherwise I don't have any like this goal or anything that I want to achieve.
Do you have any climbing goals just coming up that you have in the back of
Climbing
your head?
goals, but that's a different story. But
Yes, no, I'm just wondering.
Climbing goals are. I like to have climbing goals, and that's one of the best things with climbing is that you can have these goals that doesn't really mean anything in the real world. So you can go full in, like full on, and just try. But if you fail, it doesn't matter at all. So I hopefully this coming year I will do some more trad climbing.
Okay.
I don't have any specific grades in mind or anything, but I would like to just be able to push myself a little bit on trad climbs. Up to this point, I've just done super easy trad climbs, just the long, like super long multi-pitch stuff, just because to enjoy nature more or less. But I would like to take some whippers on my own gear.
Right, Thor, you kind of probably touched upon this in your previous answer, but are there any words of wisdom you try to live by, or just like a saying you enjoy?
Yeah, but just try to enjoy life and be a good person. If you manage to combine these two, I think you're fine.
I couldn't put it better myself. All right, Thor, where can we find you on social media, and just, I guess, like anywhere?
Yeah, so you can definitely watch videos with me every now and then on Eric Carlson Bouldering YouTube channel, and I have an Instagram account, and the name is the name of it. I started the Instagram account way before I thought that someone would actually care about looking at what I do. So the Instagram account name is Torjo. It's Torjo, Torjo. So it doesn't really. It's just my name in the first two letters in the last name.
Okay, no, I'll be sure to put it in the description so people can check you out. And yes, you should definitely watch Eric's video, especially the ones with Thor. They're usually hilarious. Like that one where Emil made the route for you, or the problem with you for just like the amount of knee bars you could do in it. that video is hilarious.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, but it's always really nice to hear when the people enjoy watching the videos, because that's what makes yeah, give us energy to make more videos. So
Just a
thanks for
quick
that.
follow-up question. Have people been, do people recognize you from the videos? I mean, obviously, I guess in your local gym, people already know you, but just like beyond that.
Actually, when I climb here in my local gym, no one like this. I mean, my friends say hello, of course, but
Mhm.
I guess most people recognize me, but they don't say anything. But
Okay.
if I travel, there's always some people that comes up and tell me that they enjoy the videos and everything, and it's really nice. And also, and this like the recent, like last year or something, more and more often people have come up to me just on
Mhm.
the street and
Okay.
said they enjoy the videos. So that's really hard to get used to, actually. But I still think it's nice. But as long as they don't take up too much of my time, I think it's really nice that they take the energy and the time to tell me that they enjoy the videos.
Yeah, that must be kind of a surreal moment when, you know, you're just in your friend's video, right? Just climbing and having fun, and then someone comes up to you on the street and be like, "Hey, I know you."
Yeah, it's really strange, but yeah.
Well, if you weren't in those videos, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So I'm glad
Yeah, yeah.
that, you know, you're in it, and I hope you continue to be in the videos. Obviously, your priority is being at home, watching and being a father, but you know, hopefully some time opens up and you can
Yeah, but
be
we
into more
have some
videos.
videos planned, so it's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
happen. Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll look forward to that. All right, Thor, thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining me today. I had so much fun talking with you and learning more about you. So thanks again.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Same to you. It was really nice chatting with you. It's also nice to get an opportunity to practice my English a little bit. So I don't usually when you just climb, you just talk about climbing, but this was nice to talk about some different stuff as well. So thank
Great.
you for that.
Very good. And yeah, I'm glad I was able to provide some practice as well.
Yeah.
All
Nice.
right,
Yeah. So
everybody.
and
Thank
also
you.
good luck with this whole YouTube thing that you the interview channel that you're making. I watched the videos with some of the videos, and I think it's really nice. I think you're doing a good job. Hopefully, there are some new interviews coming up that I to enjoy.
Yeah, some more climbers coming up for sure.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, no, I'm glad you watched it, and I appreciate that you watched it. And yeah, I just try to do something slightly different. So I
Yeah,
appreciate it, though. I really do.
yeah, yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe every Tuesday and Friday for new videos. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next video.